how much money can you get paid to not? There's no money in this world for someone to pay me so they could call me, so I could call them a boss. That's like calling somebody daddy. How can a man call another man, yo, that's my boss? We don't do that.
I mean, everybody at some point has to have a boss, right?
No, not in Harlem.
The only person that pointed out that $1 million was no money was Damon Dash, and he has no money now.
Good, welcome back. This is the Furious Robinson podcast. I'm your host, Furious, your curator of conversation, wordsmith aficionado, voted most likely to have an amazing first date, back dabbling in the dark arts because we are in some of the sickest times mentally. Mentally, we are finished, drained. People need to unplug and really untap from degenerate culture. I saw something so wild this weekend and I was on vacation. It's the holidays. I'm coming back, and Happy New Year if you're here. Tap in, hit the like button, drop a comment, do all the cool things you do for other YouTubers. Do them for me as well. Just tap in. But I saw something that was so egregious.
Free, look how she chick. Oh, she's trying to run. Get in the car.
Oh! And when I saw this police officer bust his ass after trying to stop a culprit from running away, I was like, yeah, we are finished, bruh. Some of the sickest times ever. But anyways, I'm off that. Dame Dash, really, what is going on? You have to step to the front of the congregation because I'm not sure how we got here. I don't know why this man is doing so many interviews. Well, I do. He has an $8 to $12 million debt or something of that tune.
Money, nigga, I owe $8 million in taxes right now to one state. A man ain't gonna help me. I can't even have no money until I make at least $16 million. I gotta pay the taxes. If I got $5 million, they taking it.
Something to that nature. So I get it. You have to now put in the work. Now you really have no time to do anything but make money and pay off this debt. But what I want to speak to is him being a proverbial and quintessential Chatty Patty. You are now everything you fought against. You are now a lame. I'm sorry, and this is not going to be a personal attack, but the hypocrisy has to stop. We have to call things out in real time, because if someone is doing something that is corny and lame and consistently doing it after they first said, hey, you doing this is not of men. You sitting on a radio and speaking on gossip is not manly.
Every time I hear me not being honorable in business is from a radio show where men talk about men. It's never been from that man telling me in my face he has an issue with me. It's not a claim. It's never been no social media. Yo, how can a man say social media with a straight face? Men don't listen to social media. No, men don't listen to social media. A real man doesn't listen to a rumor.
It's not man-esque. And that's what he said throughout that entire Breakfast Club interview. Even speaking to working class people and having a job as being lower than. If you have a job, you're calling another man daddy. What type of information are you giving to the youth?
I'm not a mogul. I'm a tycoon. I sell oil. Don't disrespect me and say I do everything everybody else does. And I put up my own money. All these so-called moguls y'all talking about, you name one of them that put their own dough up.
Because we know you got it out the mud. You had privilege to the Harlem streets. You were getting packs and sacks, and I'm not going to go too deep because I don't want to dry snitch.
But when you're making paper, you got to learn some rules to go with it. You got to learn the difference between guns and butter.
But we know you didn't have to really go out and get a job, quote unquote, to start your lifestyle, because that's what most people have to do. They have to get odd end jobs to figure it out. They have to go be a McDonald's worker. They have to go fold clothes at the Gap. They have to go drive for Uber Eats and DoorDash. They just not getting packs like they Avon Barksdale. That's not how it works, Dame. So the fact that you sat up there and said, hey, any man that has a boss is calling another man daddy, and you should never want to work for anyone. No, let's stop giving out terrible information. A job is a good thing. Stability is a good thing. Mentorship and networking is a good thing. Not understanding where you're at in life and trying to figure it out is a good thing. Listening to Dame Dash give out terrible business advice, don't do it. And this is a trap that we all sometimes fall into, listening to celebrity over actual facts and logic. Just because I like Dame Dash's arc and upbringing and him kind of creating Roc-A-Fella and being around Jay-Z and that whole kind of time in hip hop history, that's cool. But let's separate that from this bum and dumb information he gave out over maybe 9 to 10 years ago, or somewhere in that range, but now he's essentially doing everything he said he wouldn't do.
I've been receiving it. You've been coming at me. You think I don't got time. I'm not like these other people. I got time. So you know what I'm going to do? Tomorrow, I'm going to wind up in Paris. The next day after that, I'm going to wind up in St. Bart's, St. Martin, Anguilla. The things you used to do.
The things you used to do, you can no longer do anymore. You are now he's calling you a quintessential peon. That's what he's saying. He's saying, stop speaking on my name, because if so, I'm going to get on the private jet. I'm going to get on the G5. Nah, I'm going to get on the G7. I'm going to go to Switzerland, eat some chocolates. I'm going to go to Dubai, watch F1. I'm going to come back to Jamaica, eat some oxtail, and then I'm going to land right back in Miami and shit on you. That's how these boys move. They move with power and respect through financial means. Dame, you are now doing a podcast run promoting only God knows what, but you are a Chatty Patty. I've seen you speak on multiple men's names. I'm like, why? What are you selling? Nobody wants to do business with you because you are a bad businessman.
No one's trying to disrespect you. We're trying to show you love, but you keep coming at everybody. If you got beef with one person, you're supposed to keep that beef with one person. You got beef with everybody around him. People that's just, you became the lame yash. We don't want to disrespect you. And I'm trying not to as much as I can, because I actually respect the shit out of you. But you became the lame Chatty Patty person that you said you against. Get your life together. My number's the same.
Hey, if you feel differently, please let me know in the comments. If you want to cape for Dame, if you went out and sold cookies, if you went out and started a small business and now you're thriving, please let me know in the comments, because that was some of the goofiest information. When I watched the video back, I was like, bruh, this don't even make no sense.
Hey, man, turn this shit the fuck off, nigga, before I heat up, bro.
Okay, bro.
You became the lame yash.
Because if you really have a serious issue with someone and they live in the vicinity where you can get in contact with them, you're just going to reach out and contact them. As a man, I'm not going to hold you. Once I see it on the internet, I now know it's content creation and fodder. It's meant for dialogue. It's meant to get the people going. It's meant to go viral. Nobody's telling you to do this. You're doing this off of your own volition. So now we have to call you to the front of the congregation. This is goofy. You are now a quintessential Chatty Patty.
But the game that we see today, it breaks my heart. Because, put it like this, we all hustlers. Every hustler in the game, I know you can't name one hustler that just had it scot-free. And any type of hustle, it only have to be the streets. It could be in business or anything. You're going to have a hiccup.
Right.
The name of the game is to bounce back. And the second time is always more enjoyable than the first time. Right. That's my opinion. So to watch a hustler just do what he doing now instead of really locking in and getting back at it, it just hurts my heart. No, I get it. To see a true hustler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were clapping. That's how much facts he spoke. Yo, Dame, go ahead and sell the Roc-A-Fella plaques, sell the chains, because now you're coming into a place where, yeah, you're going to be having to go to a 9-to-5. Like somehow, some way, you're going to have to tap into a 9-to-5, and you're going to have to get a boss. You're going to have to call someone daddy. So at the end of the day, all of that information is great. You should want to be your own boss. You should want to be an entrepreneur, but not at the detriment of your own life.
Look at my son. I taught my son never to have a boss. He's 23. He owns a restaurant. He has cookies. He has equity. He busts his ass so he can pass it on to his son. If that's not what you hustlers for, you're selfish.
On your way up, treat people the way that maybe on the way down, they might want to assist you, because nobody's elevated forever. Let's just get that out of your mind frame. If you're working, you're going to go through peaks and valleys, ups and downs. Dame is on a down. I'm not going to say he's never going to be up again, but it just doesn't look that way. Right now, he's doing a lot of things for clout and attention. And when people do things for clout and attention, I don't really respect it, especially when they're a man of a certain stature. He was around Hove in the glory days of Roc-A-Fella. He said he made $20 million in a year off state property merch. So you're telling me after all of that, now you're doing podcast interviews, you're on a run.
And you got to think about something like, I in my crew, we started Pause. So to me, I'm like, damn, Pause might have really saved my life, or at least made it where people understood my boundaries.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Ain't no way he just said pause saved my life. He said that. He said that. He says pause so much that it's a deterrent for all the gays. You can't make this stuff up, man. Get these men off podcasts because they essentially tarnishing their own legacies in real time. I'm just here to really unpack certain things. This to me was goofy. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I really did want to speak to just the overall dynamic of why you should build out a foundation, build some roots before you actually try to start your own business, because you do want to understand processes, structures. You do need mentorship. You do need someone holding you accountable to a timeline and a schedule. That's why most people opt into college. That is for the college experience, but at the end of the day, you start to realize, oh, I have to wake up to be somewhere. I have to handle certain tasks throughout the day if I actually want to enjoy my weekends. So that's why some people go to college. I'm not saying do that, but getting a job and starting somewhere that doesn't involve you maybe having to go to jail or doing something to the detriment of your livelihood. Yeah, opt into a job, opt into getting a boss, opt into waking up on fucking time and being somewhere, opt into having to be accountable to someone bigger than yourself or something bigger than yourself until you figure it out and see what you want to do. Because a lot of y'all do not know what y'all want to do and y'all just follow people blindly, following the Dame Dashes of the world. Now you done started a car wash business. It's in the ground. You $100K in debt and you talking about, oh, I got to get it out the mud. No, go get a job. It's okay. And you don't have to call the person daddy. That's a myth. Handle business, collect your check, and then figure it out. But when we have people like Dame in the space just now looking extremely stupid and dumb, let's call it out. Let's bring these people to the front and say, yo, this is terrible information. Where are your son's cookies?
Look at my son. I taught my son never to have a boss. He's 23. He owns a restaurant. He has cookies. He has equity. He busts his ass so he can pass it on to his son. If that's not what you hustlers for, you're selfish.
Where are his restaurants? You didn't speak to the failures. You don't speak to, and that's what I don't like with a lot of these pseudo gurus. I did it 10 years ago. Now I think I could do it again. That stuff is cool. But when you don't speak to your own failures and you making it look like everything is great, that's when you start to look goofy to me. That's when you start, I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Logically, you always have sun and rain. You always have good and bad, yin and yang. You need that. So when he doesn't speak to that, I understand it's all BS in real time. But I'm not here to kick Dame Dash back into me. It is goofy information. I would go back and watch the Breakfast Club interview if you're really intrigued to really see some of the things he was getting off or trying to get off on Envy. And now look at Envy now and look at Dame. This is why you should never want to really be the loudest dude in the room. Move with some humility.
I'm not a mogul. I'm a tycoon. I sell oil.
This is the Furious Robinson podcast. If you're here, tap in, hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Salute. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we up.